Welcome to episode 41 of The Rider's Mind. This is Michelle Davy here, and I'm excited to bring you a topic that was asked by one of the members of our Rider's Mind community. Chris was wanting to know, when a horse comes into your life who has lots of confidence, and maybe your confidence doesn't match theirs at the moment, how do we level up to match our horse? Or even the other way around, if you had a less confident horse, matching vibrations to be an elite team on the same level. So ultimately, how can we match these vibes to be an elite team? How can we partner up with our horses at an energetic level? So I'm excited to tackle this question with you here today. I take a couple different angles on it. I want to apologize in advance for the sound quality of this episode. I had problems with my mic when I recorded it. I think an oversight on my part. It's going to be what it is. I'm not trying to be perfect because I was quite happy with how this episode turned out, and I don't want to re-record it because I just don't think it'll be as good the second time. So take it as it is. I hope that it's okay on your ears, and I will do better next time. Hi, I'm Michelle Davy, and welcome to The Rider's Mind, a podcast for horse people who want to improve their results in the competition arena by making changes within. We'll dive deep into the energy behind your ride and how what you have going on inside impacts your horse and then your achievements. Throughout your time listening, you'll increase your awareness of how important your mindset and your belief system is to your horse and the outcomes you desire with your partnership. I'm glad you're here. It's going to be a great ride. This is a great question that was asked, and I'm excited to tackle it. So how can we match our vibration, whether it's to level up and to be in communion and partnership with a horse that is super confident, or maybe we need to bring a horse up to match our level of confidence? So I feel like we can tackle this from two different levels. We can tackle this, which I will do, but we can look at this from the sense of your ideal performance state and where your energy level needs to be to perform at the ideal level for and with your horse. And then we can also look at it from the perspective of just every day matching the energetic vibration of where your horse is at and the pairing and the partnership of that. So this was a great question that was submitted. So how are we going to be an elite team and be on the same level with the horse? The first thing I want you to recognize, and I should add this disclaimer, this is my perspective. This is my opinion. Someone else may see things differently, but you asked, so here's my answer. I want you to recognize that this horse came into your life for a reason. Maybe it's to spur you to level up and rise to the occasion, so that you can clear out and remove all the reasons why you've believed that you weren't confident or you didn't have it in you, but you just love this horse so much that you're going to decide that you're going to get your act together and really show up for this horse because this horse deserves it. Or maybe on the other hand, you have a horse that isn't confident, but you know he has the ability, and you're going to consider that there's a reason for this horse showing up in your life too. You're going to work on your leadership skills, your consistency, and your coaching skills with this horse, which is really actually going to cause you to level up in another way, just differently, right? I would also say that we want to be careful not to judge things as good or bad in a horse, how they're presenting themselves to you, how they are, not to add good qualities or bad qualities to, or, name it a good quality or bad quality. Just take it as it is, how this horse is, and, decide that you're really going to steer them to what your perception is of where you'd like to be in the partnership. Because these qualities that you're recognizing in the horse, this is your mirror. This is what you're seeing, and someone else may see this horse completely different. This horse may show up differently for a different person because there's different lessons and different experiences and different perceptions in the way that things are being seen. So just take it as face value. This is how it is. I mean, horses live very present. They are in the moment. They are showing up how they feel in that time. And it's going to change based on how you're showing up and how you feel about yourself and the things that you believe about yourself is going to change your perception, hence what you see in this horse. So let's talk about the first part about how, the horse and the rider each show up with their own energy level. So I'm going to talk about in this sense is energy level, and then I'm going to talk come from a different angle, coming from the sense of vibration, an energetic vibration. So we'll get more woo on you, but we'll stick to just being simply thinking about a person's energy level. So there's a person that's super high energy and they're super nervous and they're kind of anxious sometimes and they're like really up there, right? Or there's that really calm person that needs to work to get their energy level up to make the run. Or you might have that high energy horse or the calm horse. Ideally, we want that perfect match, that sweet spot, so that we can perform at the ideal performance state or within the ideal performance state. Now, the perfect match and the perfect pairing is going to make it easier for you to find your ideal performance state with your partner, with your horse. So that's why quite often a person that's high energy level matches well with a horse that's a lower energy level, or vice versa, right? Where you have a horse that is lower energy. Maybe I said this all the other way around, but you get where I'm going, right? They balance in the middle. However, you can modify and regulate your energy level, just as I did in that example when I started to get really high energy. I could bring myself there, or I can bring myself really down and really grounded and really calm. And to you, it might sound like I'm acting, my voice is just changing, but you try it. Your energy level really does come up and it really does come down. You can make that choice, but it's a practice. You have to practice being able to do that, to be able to modify your own energy on demand, to help set the tone, to be kind of like the regulator for the horse and however they're showing up that day. Because you could have a horse that it changes, right? Or their energy level is going to change based on whether they've been cooped up in a stall, or whether there's a midway, or whether they're set off because they're by themselves, or maybe they're tired, so it's going to change, and you do need to work on your own skill set and your ability to bring that energy up and down on demand as needed, and to be able to really make a call as to whether it needs to be up or down for that horse and the arena setup and the conditions. Sometimes we have to move our energy level into a zone that isn't comfortable to really perform well. But we have to remember it's only for a few seconds. So an example for me, I have to bring my energy level up super high in order to ride a horse in an indoor pattern. To get my horse by the barrels requires me to bring my energy level up super high, because we're not actually going that fast. So it needs to be super animated and super energetic to get up deep into that turn. I would come out of that run and say like, oh, that was so out of my comfort zone to bring my energy up where it needed to be fast and snappy in an indoor run 13-second pattern. But we can do it because we're able to bring it up or bring it down. It's only for a few seconds. We can totally do it. And same as a big outdoor pattern, if you had a super high, like free running horse, you may not want to bring it like you did on the inside. If I did that on the same horse outdoor, well, I'm going to be shooting by all the barrels, or I'm going to be going too fast in the straights to have a correct turn. So I'll lose time there. So you have to be able to recognize when is the time and where you need to be at to find that sweet spot, because we're always influencing our horse's energy through our own. Now let's talk about more of like the vibe side of things, the vibration. And when I talk about vibration, it's really relating to the scale of consciousness. So this is where, if you imagine a upside down triangle or like a funnel, where the bottom end of the funnel is a lower vibration, where energies of, nervousness and grief and sadness, they're like lower, and then higher would be love and enlightenment and joy like enlightenment and joy, those would be higher vibe energies. They're going to be more expanded and at the higher scale of consciousness. Animals are naturally very high vibe. They're enlightened as is. So it's really us that need to heal, to adjust, to learn, to let go of our limits, to raise our vibes to meet that of our horses. So in the case of a very confident horse, one that is all of that, like their presence is just like they're okay. Now I feel like when we're identifying what a confident horse is, it's no different than people, and that we need to make sure that their confidence isn't actually a mask for the insecurities that they actually have. Because it's been my experience that a horse that is confident doesn't need to tell you. They don't need to be the top of the pecking order. They do not need to beat up all the other horses. They do not need to push you over. They do not need to stand on you. They just are. They just are confident in who they are. They're content. Maybe content would be a better word than confidence, even for me to, get my point across of how a horse is that is truly just okay with themselves. They're able to regulate their emotions. They're able to switch back and forth between the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system so that they are just right as you need them. We want to be like that too, right? We need to work on ourselves to discover why we might not believe that, or just be okay with ourselves. We don't have to prove that we are anything but ourselves. It's like what's the saying? A lion doesn't need to tell you that they're a lion. They just are, right? And if you're in the energy of having to prove something, or that probably means that at your core you're not feeling like you are enough to start with. So we want to dig deep and uncover the limits and stories that are keeping you from showing up at that same level of confidence of just being okay like this horse is. Now, I think this is an excellent opportunity if you have a horse that just is confident. That is a huge opportunity, and it is super exciting to start doing the work to figure out why you don't feel like you're either worthy enough or deserving enough or enough for this horse. And I've actually been on that journey myself, and I'm still on that journey of leveling up to meet my horse Squiggles, who I feel is pushing me to become a better horse person, a better rider, more confident, and to just be, right? And not have to prove, to be just enough as I am. Now, if you have a horse that is lower on the level of confidence and yours is higher, you're feeling more enlightened, you would look at the history of this horse, of why they're feeling disconnected, why they're not fully feeling all that they are, whether there's been abuse in the past or confusion in their training. There might be some undoing that you need to do there. But I also want you to remember that sometimes the horse is just a reflection of what you've got going on inside yourself. So if your confidence is not high in your core, if you're not feeling super confident deep in your core, then it may show up as a reflection in your horse. Ultimately, to show up as an elite team, you're going to have to clear and you're going to have to heal all the reasons why you don't believe that you're already an elite team. So what is standing in the way of where you want to be and where you are now? Those are all clues of stories and limits that you're carrying that need to be moved out of the way. Of course, there are going to be some technical skills that you're going to have to learn, riding, patterning, drills, whatever, that you're going to have to learn. But we also have to remember that there's a very strong and emotional component to all of this and the partnership with your horse as well. Now, if we're going to go more on the woo-woo side, the energetic side of things, I do believe that energetically we can plug in, connect, and activate our partnership with the horse to really expedite the process. But that's beyond what we're going to talk about here in this podcast. We do work on this in my Riding from Within workshops, and we've also worked on this a bit in my Stride coaching group. Energetically, we really truly can mesh with the energy of our horses. We can take this to a high level, but it does take intention and imagination, because energy follows both, right? So no amount of time that you can spend with your horse and building your partnership through doing all of the circles, doing all of the riding together, none of that is going to make up for the work you can do within to raise your own vibe by honoring yourself, being true to yourself, believing in yourself through and through, not just saying the things, but actually working on your self-love, accepting your worth and your enoughness as it is. All of these things that your confident horse has, those can be yours too. And I want you to remember that what you see in others is also within you. Sadly, not just the good, but the bad too. But remember, when you see a partnership in someone else and their horse, and you're longing for that, it's not as far away as it feels. The things that we see in others are also within you. Horses are very present and they are very grounded. They have no expectations. They're reacting to the present moment. They're showing up as is. And I think there's great lessons in this of how horses show up. You can do the same. Horses are going to react and respond to how you are showing up. So it's up to you, it's up to us to do the work within, to continue doing it, because every problem that's showing up with your horse is just a clue to something that you've got to work on, something you need to dig deep and release, to heal, to clear, to forgive, and let go of, so that you can show up as all that you already are. It's kind of like, when we get on this growth and journey of personal growth, we're just really peeling back all of the limits and stories that we've picked up all along the way, so that we can show up as the purest version of ourselves, which is, the essence of our soul, which is love, really. And that's how horses are showing up, is love. And I mean, there's complex horses and there's ones with different problems. Most of the time, these challenges are showing up because they're reacting to something else, right? They're reacting to pain, perhaps. They're reacting to trauma that's happened in their life previously, often tied back to pain. But when you have a horse that doesn't have this damage, or doesn't come with a history, or doesn't come with baggage, they really are showing up as a reflection or a vision, not necessarily a vision, but as a package. Basically, it's like, here's your package of all the lessons that you're going to have to learn about yourself. They're part of your journey. They're part of this grand master plan for you to up level. Horses, I started my work healing horses, doing energy sessions on horses. And now I've gone more to helping people, because that's where I was always going, that the horses were leading to me to what the people needed. Or the things that show up in your horses are pointing the fingers back about, of what you need to take care of, where you need to level up in your life too. Horses generally are going to show up pure. They're going to show up content. Horses just be. They're there without expectation. They're not judging you. They're not projecting things back at you. They don't think you should be a different way. We can take lessons from this. We can take lessons from the horse and show up more like them, be more like the horse, without expectation, without judgment, without projection, and really just show up and be all that we already are. And that really is going to be your quickest way to match your vibration of your horse and to show up for them. But I did come at this with two different angles today, because there are definitely different ways of looking at this. The more, direct way of your ideal performance state and showing up that way. I feel like that is maybe more of like the fake it till you make it strategy, which is not a bad strategy, but to show up how you want to be for that horse, change your ideal performance state so you're going to match in the zone, right? But then there's the doing the work and actually changing your energetic vibration to be more enlightened, to be more like a horse. And maybe you have a horse, if it's got, lower vibe because it's got some problems, well, you can go on that journey together to raise your vibe together so that you are both experiencing more joy and more love. Because there are definitely some horses that are operating at a lower vibe because of their history, but we can help them to be all that they already are as well, while you're on the same journey of clearing the limiting beliefs of why you don't think you are that competitor that your horse believes you are, or that carrying that level of confidence that the horse does, so that you can match that. So it really is about the journey. It really is about honoring what this horse has to say about you, how you're interpreting it, and then do remember that, this is your perception, how you're seeing that horse at the level of confidence. With that level of confidence, maybe someone else isn't seeing the same thing, which is quite interesting, right? If why you might see that and why they might not see that. So it doesn't matter that it's different. We're just not going to put judgment on it. We're just going to see it as it is, take the lessons as they are, and use it to level up and really experience what it's like to let go of all those limits that we might carry about why we don't believe we are all of that already, and why we believe we're not matching that horse that's operating at that level. So let's let go of, you feeling like you're not that level of competitor like your horse, that feeling of you're not worthy of a horse like this, or that feeling of you're not enough of a rider to really jockey this horse. Because that's not true, because you would not have this horse in your life and you would not have the vision for this partnership with your horse if it wasn't something that is definitely easily within your reach, just by doing the work to level up. Okay, well, thank you for submitting this question. I appreciate it very much. We've got some more great questions that were submitted in the Riders Mind community on Facebook. I will be continuing to work through those questions. If you have any other questions, suggestions for topic ideas, I am all ears, would love to hear them. Feel free to email me or DM me on Facebook or Instagram pages. I would be very happy to hear from you. If you haven't already, be sure to sign up for my Next Level Mindset mini course, michelledavy.com/mini course. If you're interested in any coaching, you could go to michelledavy.com, go under classes, and sign up on the wait list for my Stride coaching group. I just finished a great interview with 10-time NFR qualifier Molly Powell that is currently being released to our group. It was a great interview with lots of great lots of great information, answers to some questions that were submitted from our group members. I'll be opening up Stride again for enrollment very soon, where you will have the opportunity to ask one-on-one questions within our bi-weekly Q&As. There are monthly modules and coaching, and almost a year's worth of content that I've been posting over the last year. This content is not just lessons from myself, but we've also had special guests like Andrea Udall, Michelle McLeod, and Ashley Schaefer. So we've added that to the lessons with Molly Powell. So lots of great content in there. Like I said, head to my website. We'll link in the show notes as to where you can go and get on the wait list for that. I'd love to see you on the inside of this private group. All right, have yourselves a great week into the weekend, wherever you're at when you're listening to this. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for listening to the Riders Mind podcast. If you're the kind of person that likes to help others, be sure to share this podcast with your friends. And if you would be so kind to spread the word about it and also leave a positive review, I would greatly appreciate it. It's through these shares and reviews that you and I can help reach others and change their lives too.